New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. And hello again, dear ones. Reverend Robert with you here on a Tuesday afternoon. This is New Thought Today here on the New Thought Media Network. My co-host, Reverend Elzia, is in the other studio hanging out with Reverend Kathy Mastriani and Laura Topper. Their program that they were doing just about ended, so we'll see if he makes it over here into this studio or gets called away on other business. You all know how it is in ministry. All kinds of stuff pops up. However, the good news for you is you don't have to worry about sitting listening to me for the whole hour. I have a great friend and a special guest with us today. Please allow me to introduce you to Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley. She is the Senior Minister of Harmony Spiritual Center in Fort Worth, Texas, and an ordained New Thought Interfaith Ministerial graduate of the Emerson Institute of Theology. She has a degree in organizational management, a master's in religious studies, and a doctor of divinity in transformational ideology. Reverend Pjae is a sought-after speaker and workshop presenter on the topics of clarity, conviction, and courage, what's next, uncovering what's yours to do, and developing core communication skills for couples. That is important work. All these are designed to help participants gain personal clarity, uncover core values, and set an aligned life purpose. Reverend Pjae's life purpose is to facilitate fellow travelers through a process of discovery, belief building, and understanding of the power of action to fulfill their personal life purpose. She is fervent about her relationship with God, family, friends, and her spiritual tribe. I love the use of the word fervent there. That so does describe you. And I love part of your signature block on your emails. Many paths, much love, one truth. That to me describes you perfectly to a T. Reverend Pjae, welcome to New Thought Today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love it. I love being here talking with you. Whenever I see you, we have a great time. A great time.
We do, absolutely. and we were before the show, folks. You guys all know how this works. We hang out before the show and figure out what we're going to talk about on the show. And before the show, we were talking about the Big Sky Retreat last year in Montana, and neither of us had met. Neither of us had any clue who the other person was. But it was that fervent passion for who you are and what you were sharing with us at that conference that just attracted me. I was like, I got to get to know who this person is, and
Absolutely.
And you opened up so many doors for me at that conference.
I could feel your passion. First of all, you came over and said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." And I was like, "Great, I want to talk to you too. What are we talking about?" And when you shared with me what you were doing, I just thought, "Oh my God, this is the next step. This is one of the next steps for us in New Thought, is to get our message out there in the media, and also not just getting our message out there for people who don't know, but for people who do, to help us, understand a little bit more, to find out how big this thing is." It's amazing to me how people just think it's just their church and their neighborhood, and this is a worldwide living ministry. And so I was so excited to talk with you about what we're going to do next and what we're going to do together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you use the word worldwide there, because that is really, really key. Not just because of the internet, but that's been the expression, the pulse, if you will, of New Thought all the way along. We're going to get to all of that stuff, folks, as we go along today. I promise we're going to be talking about the affiliated New Thought Network and their upcoming conference, because that's where you and I really had a chance to connect
absolutely,
and talk.
Absolutely.
But more important, before we go down all those roads, tell us a little bit, tell everybody else out there that's watching a little bit more about your ministry and the Harmony Spiritual Center in Fort Worth.
So Harmony Spiritual Center in Fort Worth is we're simply a teaching center. I'm still talking with my members, my tribe, and they're always saying, "Oh, PJ, we loved your sermon. We loved your sermon." I'm like, no. It's not a sermon. We don't preach. What I'm doing, there's no preaching going on. It's just about teaching, learning, and talking about the activities of our everyday life that helps us show up as a new thought person, because new thought is living. It's a living thing, and I bring that up because I'm going to be talking a whole lot more than what you asked for. But this is so exciting to me. It's because New Thought is a living spirituality. And when I say that, what I mean is that what I was brought up in, and it's no slam to that, because I loved it. I love what I was brought in to, brought up in. But it was a Sunday kind of a spirituality, and only on Sundays did I see and hear about how great God was and how great life could be, and this and that. But then for the rest of the week, you're struggling. And so New Thought is about being a part of that ministry, understanding that you are an individualized expression of the one love, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, that you can call upon, make a demand to, all kinds of things. And not just when things are going bad, but when things are going good, to better, to great. It's just amazing to me. So that's what we do at Harmony Spiritual Center. We just simply try to bring people in and help them to visualize and to experience their own spirituality in the way that they understand it, so they can use it every single day.
Yeah, beautiful. And how long have you all been there?
So Harmony, Harmony came together, I'm going to say in 2010, 2011, something like that. They came together as a spiritual group, just a study group, and it just kept growing and growing. And they thought, well, Jesus, I can't keep putting these chairs up and down every Sunday. We got to find a place where we could keep things down. And so they went ahead and created a church, a nonprofit, and then got a place to be. And so they've been doing that. And then when they decided to do that, they looked to see what ministers that would kind of speak the message and speak the love that they wanted to speak. And they got Reverend Glenn Moore, who was a unity minister in Waco and had moved up to Fort Worth. So he was there, and with his wife, who's also a minister, Reverend Pat Moore. So they were the ministers from 2010, 2011 until about 2018. And they've been ministers their whole life. So they were ready to retire. And they knew I'd gone to the Emerson Institute, and that I was already a minister, an interfaith minister as that. And we'd been hip hopping and, crisscrossing each other's paths for years. We've known each other for like 25 years. And they're like, look, PJ, it's time for you to step up. It's your turn. We need to retire. You need to get it together and take over this church. I'm like, oh, I don't know about all that. So that's how I kind of got there. And, obviously anything that I do, anything that we do, we want to make sure that it's right. I consult your spirit. Well, what do you think about this, Spirit? Is this something I need to be doing? And Spirit said, absolutely, you are a minister. There's no question about it. Now, whether or not you're going to be in harmony, that's for Harmony and you all to decide together. And so we just got into conversation about what I am and who they are and what they expected. And so I showed up. So it was in 2018 that I became the senior minister there. They invited me to become a part of them. And we've been together ever since. And we just love each other. It's just a beautiful thing, I think.
Beautiful. Oh, I love hearing that. And as again, we were sharing before the show, folks, really, I think one of the toughest things in ministry is to match a minister with an existing community. Absolutely. And if you've grown up in that community, sometimes it's even harder to do. Correct. And to be able to step into leadership and what that means. And that's one of the things I've seen in you, and I'm trusting it's a big part of what makes you that community work, is you feel to me like a natural born leader. Thank you. You don't seem like the person that ever sits on the sidelines and says, yeah, you guys can go do that. I'm going to be sitting over here, reading my book or whatever it might be.
No. And that's one of the things that they're so funny. They my members and people who just meet me, but members like, oh, you always got something to say, don't you? And yeah, You asked me a question, baby. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. And not only how I feel about it, but there's a difference between what knowledge that you learn, from, because I went to Emerson, I know all of that. I know the history. I understand what New Thought is trying to do. There's one thing to have that knowledge, and there's another thing to have a knowing, because you've experienced the spirituality that they're talking about. And so I know it's the same thing that Oprah Winfrey talks about all the time. What do you know for sure? And the only way you're going to know something for sure is because not only have you experienced it, but you've experienced it again and again and again. And the process of experiencing this fabulous and amazing and a manifesting power of spirituality is to understand the process of it. What needs to happen? You know what I mean? And that process, and once you understand what the process is, you can do it, they can do it, we can do it, we can all do it. It's not just me. And I love that. I love to be able to share that, what I know for sure, because it works for me every single time. And it works for them, it works for everybody every single time if you just do the process. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You remind me of that saying, the people will never care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Absolutely.
What that saying doesn't include is that the caring is reliant upon the fact that I've had that similar lived experience, perhaps not exactly the same, but similar enough lived experience.
Exactly, to know. I think the human condition is we're not far from each other in terms of the things we experience. We want to be loved. We want to belong. We want to feel like we matter. We want to feel like we're doing something on purpose that matters. We want to serve. We want to help. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun about what human beings want. We act like it's all brand new, but it isn't.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so with you. Folks, you can catch Reverend PJ's talks on, where's the best place to do it? On your website or
on Facebook? We do it on Facebook, the Harmony Fort Worth Facebook page every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. And if you can't make it on Sunday morning, don't worry. Of course, it's on Facebook. Posts never go away. Nothing on the internet goes away. So it's always going to be there. So you can catch it anytime. Exactly. We also do it on YouTube. We also have a YouTube channel, which is Harmony Spiritual Center as well. So if you can't catch it live or you can't catch it on Facebook, you can check out our channel on YouTube. There
we go. And there's how you know you'll be there, folks. Or this is this past Sunday's message, and you can catch it already. So head on over to the website, say hello, give these folks the love they deserve, and please do hit up the YouTube and give them the subscription. Subscribe. Every few, well, probably I guess it's about every quarter or so. And right now we need to do it again. We have a campaign where we try to get as many people to subscribe to as many other people's pages as possible.
Oh, wonderful.
Because if you're subscribed to our page, folks, thank you. We appreciate that. We love you for that, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. However, it's really important that we get the word out about all the various communities.
Absolutely.
That are around us. And I know that's a lot of the work that you do as well, is through the affiliated New Thought Network and other places that you're a connector. You seem to want to get people together.
I do.
And what we're going to do here, folks, we're going to take a quick break and allow our sponsors a quick moment to say hello on a couple of things. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Reverend PJ about some of the upcoming events and how you might get involved with some of the work that she's doing as well. So stay with us. This is New Thought Today on the New Thought Media Network. We're going to be back in just a moment or so. Let us grab a drink of water, and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Exactly.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
And we're back with more of New Thought today on the New Thought Media Network. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley from the Harmony Spiritual Center in Fort Worth, Texas. Glad you're with us. Before the break, we were talking, and you struck on something that I want to kind of dig back into, because it's so important to understand each other's lived experiences. Yes. When we come into a spiritual community and have start having the conversations and the dialogues, because what we come from is what we're bringing with us into anything. So it struck me, and I'm really interested. I don't even know if I've ever heard how you found New Thought.
It's I love telling this story. I'm sure my congregants are sick of this story because I love it, and it's like it just happened yesterday. But like I said before, I loved what I grew up in. I was a Southern Baptist, Black Southern Baptist. I know it's hard to believe that I'm actually Black, and so I was raised in that, and I loved it. I loved the music. I loved the social part of it. I loved the camaraderie. I loved everything. The message does not resonate with me, but that's okay. I just thought, okay, well, I should understand it. But I was constantly looking for something more that resonated. And I drug my husband to so many churches, I can't tell you, over the years, just looking for something that resonated with me. So finally one day I was gone for the weekend. He said, PJ, you keep dragging me around. I'm going to start looking on my own. And I said, great. If you find something, I'll go with you. I'll go wherever you want to go. And so he saw in the Yellow Pages, that's how long ago this was, Yellow Pages, it said the Center for Spiritual Living. It was in San Diego, California. It was 1995. And he said, that is so interesting. What does that mean? I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but let's go. And so we went, and it was Marilyn Day. It was Marilyn Day Hall at the time. Her name was Day Hall, but I think Reverend Marilyn Hall, who was speaking there. She was the senior minister at that place. And so we walked in. And so I just want to be real now, from a Black perspective, there was a lot of things wrong that scared me when I walked in. Number one, a woman in the pulpit. Okay. And so number two, she's blonde and blue-eyed. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then she started talking, and it resonated so much with my heart that I actually prayed right then and there. And I said to Spirit, because I talk to Spirit like I talk to you, and I call him George. And I said, listen, George, because the whole idea about be careful of false prophets. And so that's why I was raised with that idea of false prophets. And so I said, listen, George, if this is a false prophet, you have to make it clear to me right now, because she is resonating with my heart. And so if this is a false prophet, let me know. And he said, it is not a false prophet. You are home. And that was it. I was home. My husband and I were, every time that center was open, we were there taking classes, taking foundational classes, going to retreats. We were home. And so it was back in 1995, and we discovered it. We are both, he is also a minister as well. He's a New Thought minister through Anton, through the Emerson thing. And so me too, Emerson Institute. So that's how we got there. And it just resonated with truth, that we're all one, that there is no duality, and so all the things the questions that I had were being answered. Never before had it ever happened. Did all of my church experiences that I had questions been answered so well and and resonated so much in my heart. And so I've been here ever since. I'm not going
Gotcha.
anywhere. I love it.
Oh, beautiful. All right. So now I gotta know you were in San Diego. What takes you to Fort Worth
So yeah. So Texas is actually my family home. So my work life, and I met my husband in he's a California boy, so I met him there while I was working. We were in San Diego doing some work there, and then my mother got ill, and she's from Waco, Texas, and she got ill. So he was gracious enough to say, well, you know what, we can retire, we can leave here and go there. We were good at flipping houses, and so we just thought, well, we'll just go to Waco. Because she wanted a home that was in a neighborhood she was familiar with. So we did that. We went there, bought her home, and we kind of fell in love with it. And so we lived in Waco. We bought a cabin on Lake Whitney, which is just right outside of Waco. And then I was coming to Fort Worth because I was taking business classes for how to do a business plan at Baylor University, but then there was one going on in Fort Worth for the Women's Center. And I drove up from Waco, which is about 2 hours away, to there every week. And I just loved Fort Worth. It was like home. It's a big little town. Everybody's friendly. Everybody loves it. And so that's what took me there. And so when I found out my friends were there, and they talked about, hey, I need you to take over this church. And I had already graduated. So I thought, well, apparently I'm supposed to be here. This is all signs, all roads are leading to Fort Worth.
Don't always understand it, but
yeah, I don't always understand it. I don't always understand it. It resonates, but I just move forward because I believe resonation is God telling us beforehand that this is the promises are being kept right here, right now. These are answers to your prayers, and giving us a hint of that beforehand. So.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Now you've mentioned it a couple of times, and let's get into it. Help everybody that's watching understand a little bit more about Anton and the connection with Emerson Institute, Institute of Theology, because that's where your quote education comes from, beyond the real experience of being out in the world. The book learning comes from there. Tell us a little more of that relationship.
So the reason why so Marilyn Day Hall, the minister there, was a member of Anton when we joined. And so we went to a retreat. And we just absolutely loved it. The music was amazing. Karen Drucker was one of the first New Thought singers that we heard. She was at that conference, and several others. And so we loved it. And so we just already knew that we wanted to be a part of it. We met Angelo Pizzello is the founder and the education arm he's the education administrator, him and his wife, Stella, of Emerson Institute. And Emerson Institute is the education arm for Anton, which is the affiliated New Thought Network. And their whole belief is that God is the sole authority. So if you believe that you're a minister and you get the education, there is no one that has the right to tell you you're not a minister. And so you understand? So if you don't fit in elsewhere, but New Thought is for you, and even if you do fit in, so there's other people that are coming from different backgrounds that still come to Anton because it is so open at the top, truly open to people sharing their experience of God, their lived experience, the way they experienced it, not the way that someone says you should experience, but the way you actually do. And so that was so eye-opening and encouraging, and it was just a breath of fresh air to really do what New Thought says, and that is to see the individualized expression of God in all things. And so therefore seeing possibility in all things. And that's what Anton does. So I talk about Anton all the time, and I encourage people to come and be a part of this fantastic spirituality that accepts you exactly as you are, as you're moving forward and having your journey through New Thought, which of course includes all, unity and science of mind and, CS, whatever form or part of New Thought you're involved in. New Thought is just a big umbrella for all of those spiritual backgrounds or religious backgrounds. So that's what Anton is about. And they have fabulous retreats. Now, because of you, we have 2 every year. We have the one that we actually go to in person, and now the virtual one, because the first virtual one, you the media network was a part of that and helped us to put that online and make that a fabulous
Mm.
retreat. So we're going back to that every single year now because of you. So thank you for that.
Absolutely, and thank you.
Yeah,
And we're going to give a big shout out to Reverend Bill Marcioni as well.
absolutely.
He's the
Absolutely.
real glue that got that whole virtual piece
Absolutely.
together, and
Absolutely.
I was able to learn from him, and I believe he was able to learn from me, and all of that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about events as we go, but I want to make the confession to you, Reverend PJ. Before this time last year, I knew, well, the way I like to have said, I've been saying it, is I was a spiritual snob.
Okay. Okay.
I came up out of Centers for Spiritual Living, and it was very clear that there was no education that measured up, no other education out there that measured up.
Correct.
This was the premier of New Thought education.
Right.
And yeah, unity's cool if you like the God, the Jesus, and the Bible stuff, but it wasn't my upbringing. And so 2, 3, 4 years ago, you and I would never even have met, because I wouldn't have seen the validity. I couldn't see
Absolutely.
the validity in your reverend, in your title, in the work that you've done. And for me, it's been a great awakening, opening up to this wealth of family that I didn't know.
Wealth of family. I love you putting it that way. It's beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wealth of family.
Never knew. And now we get to have these conversations. Now I get to learn from your lived experiences a bit more of, and now I have people all the time calling me saying, so what else is out there? You've been out there in the hinterlands for a couple of years. What else is out there? And so help us. So you've been with Anton a bit longer than I have at this point. I'm still a newbie around this group, but it seems to me like there's a real effort and a real consciousness, a real dedication to supporting independent, growing, perhaps a little out of the box type of ministries. Share with us some of what you've seen out in the world in the ways New Thought's being done.
Exactly. So number one, I love the fact that it's a New Thought umbrella, because the New Thought umbrella doesn't say, Signs of Mind or Unity, or it's all of it. And I love that, because again, it's because I don't, God, however you look at that energy of God, however you see it, however you describe it, it's a beautiful and open and expansive and inclusive energy. So for us to say that we're a part of that and then try to shut down what it needs to look like is amazing to me. It's amazing to me. I came in with Reverend Day Hall, who was a CSL person. So I learned Science of Mind. And I was so fearful when I knew I was going to leave San Diego, because I thought nobody in Texas is going to know anything about New Thought. What am I going to do? And do you know, I moved in right next door when I bought that lake property to a Unity person. They call themselves Unitics. I moved right in, and I was asking her, hey, we're going to go to church. And she was kind of hemming and hawing about, well, yes, it's a little bit different, And I said, well, I do different. I'm good with it. So she took me there, and that was my first introduction to Unity. And I thought, this is and Emily Cady and all of those. And I thought, this is exactly what we study. The only difference is that Unity is more into they following the teachings of Jesus, whereas Science of Mind is they're just talking about the laws that Ernest Holmes made really clear to us. But all of us use all of that. All of us follow the teachings of Jesus. All of us use the laws, the laws of the universe, spiritual laws that Ernest made clear. So we're not different. We just speak differently, but we're not different. We're talking about the same thing. And so that's my experience. And my experience with Anton is that however you want to, their whole, if I wanted to say they had a theme or a mission or a message, it's that God is the sole authority about who is minister, what a minister looks like. And so because of that, what they want to do is say yes. They're looking for ways to say yes to your ministry. And that's why so many different people doing it in different ways can fit under that umbrella of Anton. Because whether you're doing an independent ministry, I have a friend who's doing this whole thing, and I think you heard her on the Talk Leader Thursday, where she's doing a peace initiative. A peace initiative is a ministry. It's a ministry.
Mm.
She has it under the umbrella of New Thought, but it's a ministry. So there's so many ways in which Anton and New Thought is trying to say, how do you serve your ministry? And we want to say yes to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That to me was you sold me. Last year, I walked into the convention, and you'll see their website here on the screen, folks. The still video up in the upper right hand corner is the organization. That's President
Jerry
Reverend
Troyer.
And he hangs out at the Ohm Center for Spiritual Living, which we broadcast here on the network on Sunday afternoons. And we walked into the room, and and there's you in it. There's your doctorate. And we're getting together that first night, and the first thing I remember hearing is, we're the people that say yes. And how refreshing that was.
Yes.
And how, now I know it, organizationally, that makes things a whole lot more interesting.
It does. It does.
And it is so on principle with exactly what you're saying. If
Exactly.
God is everything, then that can be ministry too, and this can be ministry too. And I will tell you, folks, in a year now, so it's just about a year that I've been a part of the organization. In that year, I have seen the demonstration of we say yes. It's not always yes.
It's not always yes. You can't always say yes, but we want to say yes.
Say yes, exactly.
We want to say yes. And so it's, to me, just an example or a comparison. It's my husband and I were just talking about it today, about there's a school that we go to. It's like the college that we graduated from. My undergrad is from an HBU. It's not Princeton. It's not Harvard. It's an HBU, which I loved, but the information is always there. And you have people say, oh, you went to a state school, or oh, you went to, whatever it is. It doesn't matter where I went. I got the information I needed to get. And some places that I go to let me take my experience and with another college and transfer it over to theirs. That's what Emerson does. It lets you take the experience and the education that you have from wherever you've got it from and looks at it and says, yes, you know. That's what they do.
Yes.
I love it.
So there it is, folks. If you're thinking, hey, how I have this calling within me, I have this this lived desire to be more, to be something in the world of spiritual leadership in the New Thought realm, that's the traditional routes are not the only ones.
No.
And there is this amazing avenue open through Emerson Institute to, and what I also love is looking at it. You don't have to sign up for a college degree to get involved. You can take a class, you can learn a bit here, you can get involved, and there's so many different paths as well.
There are so many different paths. And here's what I know for sure, Robert, is that the more you learn, the more you want to learn. It's just like a person who's been in the desert. I feel like I was in the desert for such a long time, and I wanted to just drink the whole lake. There was so much, you know what I mean? I was so thirsty. And that's what happens when you get involved in this. So there's a lot to drink.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about convergence.
Okay. Yeah.
And share. So folks, we've been talking about this. The annual convention for Affiliated New Thought Network is coming up. It's coming up here at the end of September. Both Rev Pjae and I will be there, along with a whole bunch of other people.
Great speakers, great music. You don't want to miss it. Telling you.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about who's going to be there and who we can expect to enjoy in this year's event.
So we have some great speakers, and I haven't heard from them. I've read one of their I've read a book by one of the speakers, and I know that I have to go on the line and see and get the names right because it's a little bit difficult to speak about, but or to remember. But I can guarantee you that we always have. Yeah, you see, Milagro Phillips is going to be there speaking, and oh yeah, and you can actually, thank you for putting that up. You can actually go online and listen to what they have to say, and if you're not moved by that, then it probably isn't someplace you need to be. But I'm telling you, you're going to be moved by it. So we have great keynote speakers. We have great breakout sessions. This year we introduced something called Power Talks, which are like TED Talks. So we have many Power Talks throughout the week. Of people sharing different workshop ideas. We have breakout sessions. We have like fabulous music. You just saw some of the music that's going to be there as well. There are just the biggest thing for me while I'm learning and I'm growing, and of course we're going to have a big party and there's a graduation, so we get to celebrate with people and all of that. But the biggest thing that I love is putting eyes on and arms around those like-minded people who understand and know that New Thought is a live and living spirituality, and you get to be around those people, that tribe of people who see what's good in you, and you get to see what's good in them. Who doesn't want to be in a place like that? And it's like that for the entire time. You're going to leave there on such a high, you're going to feel like for the rest of the week you're still there. It's just so amazing. It's so amazing. I can't speak more. And it's our theme this year. It's a convergence. Convergence is a theme, and the 4 areas of convergence are love, which is of course what we're about. Learn. So you're loving, you're learning, and then you decide. Because again, what's the point in learning something if you don't make a decision about something? And then go ahead and take action. Do. So it's love, learn, decide, and do. So you're going to walk away with so much an action plan for moving your life, whatever that may be, however you decide and define it, forward. And that's what we're all about. That's what we're about. I know. Oh man. I can't. Oh Lord. And I want to tell you, if you guys do come, look me up. I mean, come by and talk with me. I'll be out there doing all kinds of stuff, hopefully greeting and meeting with the new people that come, and just you'll see me all over the conference. So please come and talk with me and tell me that you saw me here on this with Robert. So yeah, yes. See that. We'll already be friends.
And folks, if all this isn't enough, the food is amazing.
Oh, stop it.
So meals are included.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, the lodging at Unity Village is already sold out, but there is lodging available just a quick 5 minutes away.
Yeah. With a shuttle that'll bring you over. So you're not going to have to.
But the conference, and that's one of the things I love about this conference is it's not just one meal. It's not just meals are a part of this, and absolutely. We get to one of the greatest connections I made last year was at lunch, and just a random sit down at high, and has turned into a great friendship and a great partnership. Absolutely. So many ways that you can connect. And again, for me, this was like a brand new playground of not lost family members. Just I was unconscious.
I just didn't even know you had them. Yeah, they weren't lost. I didn't know they were there.
A whole wing of the New Thought family tree that I didn't even know existed.
Exactly.
And we got to have a great time and really play and have a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Folks, we're going to take another quick break here, and we have something very special we want to share with you. A dear friend of ours has offered us a promotional opportunity to get involved with one of her classes and benefit New Thought Media Network as well, and we believe benefit you. So stay with us. We're going to share a little bit about that right here real quick for a minute, and then we'll be back with more with Dr. Pjae Stanley and New Thought Today. See you in just a moment. Stay tuned.
New Thought has a money problem. You know, it's okay to talk about prosperity. It's okay to talk about abundance. It's okay to talk about overflow, but often talking about money feels taboo, or it feels verboten, like do not talk about that. And I've experienced this in our New Thought communities and our centers and with our New Thought friends. And so here's my thinking: who better to have money and to have mastered a money mindset than those of us who are working to build a more equitable world using New Thought spirituality, New Thought technology, and all of the wonderful things that we know work. I am Reverend Cheryl McCreary, and I invite you to join me for a 5-week online workshop entitled Manifest More Money. This work is intended to use spiritual practices and practical actions to help you bust through your money set point, to help you release any kind of money shame or guilt or limits or limited thinking and boxes you put yourself in, and to really move into right relationship, divine right relationship with money. Indeed, our divine birthright is to have unlimited abundance, and that includes money. So I invite you to join me. We're going to kick everything off on Thursday, September 1st. All of the information is right here in the post below. The link for you to register is right here for you. And here's the really great thing. If you register using the link here at New Thought Media Network, they will receive 50% of your registration fee. It goes directly to New Thought Media Network. So I invite you to join me. Let's take this walk together. Let's blow the hinges off of our money consciousness and our money limits. And let's really get aligned with that divine source of energy that we use on this plane to exchange goods and services and to create a better world. I invite you to join me. I look forward to it.
And folks, I will be there personally. I intend to, I've already signed up, already attending this class. Really looking forward to getting a chance to spend a bit more time with Reverend Cheryl and share in the work that she's bringing forward. Please consider joining us Thursday evenings. The link is going across the bottom of your screen. We've also put it in the comments for today's broadcast as well. And I'll tell you, a 50-50 split on any class is a great sharing. So we're grateful to Reverend Cheryl for bringing that forward and making this offer to us. We'd love to see you there and join us for that. All right, let's get back into our conversation here with Reverend PJ. And this is so much fun because it has been a year and we got connected and we've stayed in touch. And part of the fun is that you're very involved in ANTN, and you have a program that you do on a monthly basis where you share more about the leaders and people that are really moving New Thought forward. I personally am incredibly honored that I get to appear on that show in just a couple of days. So we're going to do this, but differently in a few days on Thursday, folks. But tell us a little bit more about that program, how it came to be, and what folks can expect if they register.
So it's called Thought Leader Thursday. We just call it TLT, and it's the last Thursday of every month. And so, Robert, maybe you can have a link for that for people to get on there. I can send that to you, whatever it is. But what it is, we're just trying to bring people like Robert, authors, people who are just out in New Thought, trying to make a difference, and offering some help and some understanding. You can ask questions. I love the guests that we've had on there have whatever they're doing, whatever they brought into the table. Like we had an author or a minister, Reverend Kim Andrews from Unity Saxe, and she was talking about her peace initiative, and she brought so many great facts to the table about what it takes to move an idea or a thought from one place to the next, and it's so small. It just doesn't take that much at all. And and she sent out all this information to us. She talked with us about it there. We had Margaret Mackerson, who talked to us about what it takes to have peace in your ministry so you don't burn yourself out. And she shared all kinds of great, valuable information about that. So we just have, and I'm wanting Robert to come on to talk about, because he is traveling, he is in the media. And so what is going on in the world as he travels around and he gets to, to be with all kinds of different New Thought family members, as he talked about, what is his take on where we're going, where we're headed? What is New Thought Media doing for that part of it? What's the importance of New Thought Media? And I think it's absolutely valuable because you wouldn't see someone like myself unless he put me on the show. So myself and all the other great speakers that he's had, this is what New Thought Media does. The network does for us is to bring that wide open and to put information out there about we're not just a baby organization that just started the other day. We are huge. We're worldwide. There's so many of us, and we just need to connect up. You asked me about that the other day. You said you're a connector. So are you. That's what we do. We connect up like minds and tribe who are just trying to understand more perfectly what this is about and to serve others who are looking for the same thing. That's what we do. So yeah.
I'm excited to be with you and to get a chance.
It's gonna be great.
It's always fun when I get to talk and don't have to push the buttons.
Just focus.
So,
Absolutely.
and folks, I could very easily answer all the questions that PJ just asked, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save that for Thursday.
Thank you.
So please join us for that. I've put a link in the chat box and in the notes as well. Plus, you just remember, go to antn.org/events.
Thank you.
Or click on the event tab, and you should find this page right here.
Yay! There you are.
Click on that register button, and even the Zoom link and information is right there on the page for you. So we'd love to have you join us, and that is at 11 o'clock Central Time, if I believe.
It is. That is correct.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for you to know as you're the guest. So thank you. It's encouraging.
I'm sure it's on my calendar.
I'm sure it is. Sure
So, beautiful. Hey, folks, before we run out of time today, I do want to, big part of this program is also to kind of look forward and cast the vision. If there's anything I've learned in 20 years is this movement gets nowhere if we don't have a vision of where we're trying to get to, if we don't have a vision of what we're looking to accomplish. And that isn't, and we have ways to discern that that's a divine vision, not just my human ego vision and such like that. But the question I really have for you is, what do you see as we move forward? We've got truthfully the appearance of a heck of a sense of division in the United States. There, even in other countries, that sense of polarization is there, and that sense of separation is there. What's New Thought's unique place? Where are we? How do we get to support humanity's evolution? What's the future hold for New Thought?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that question, and I have a chance to think about that. One thing is that when I got involved in 1995, and of course this has been going on since the 1800s. It's not like it happened because I stumbled onto it in 1995. But from an organizational perspective, just the way the world is right now, there's just a lot of splits away from large organizations and big business, and we're just not getting, I don't believe, the information that needs to be out there from a large organizational perspective. I really believe that where we're heading is to smaller groups, particularly since after COVID, when we're looking at individual people are just not coming back and doing what they did before. I think that it's really important that we look at what we do when it comes to individualized and personalized ministries. Because if this is an independent ministries, and however you see your vision, I believe, just like you just said, that Spirit, God, George, whatever you call that which is greater than yourself, has given you a vision, a purpose for why you're here. It doesn't have to come alive because you join an organization. You join an organization to help support that, but it's already there within you as you move forward. So the question becomes, and my purpose, the thing that sets me on fire, is helping people understand what that is for them. Get real clear about what is it you want to do? How do you want to serve? For me, I'm really good. I believe and I've done this my whole life, even before I was in ministry. And that's why I know I've always been a minister, because I've done it before without having the title, is to help people get real clear about who they are, who you are, not what you want to do, because what you want to do comes from who you are. So who are you? What brings you joy? Because I think what we're trying to do is to bring joy in our own lives, and that joy spreads out. So who are you, and how do you take who you are? So for me, I'm looking at talking to people on an individual basis. I give classes wherever they allow me to give classes, at my church, at the community college, at a center, wherever. And it starts off with the class being, let's say, about meditation. but it ends up being a conversation about what's going on and what do you believe? What is holding you back? What would the next thing in your life look like? And I think as we all go out and tell our lived story, because each of us has a story about how we came to know the truth about spirituality and who God is and how we get to manifest our lives. When we get to tell our lived story, then and that shares with people that we what we know for sure. Because we're all beginning to do that, telling what we know for sure. I think that individual by individual, looking at how they want to be in the world and how they want to share, as I shared with you, my friend Kim, who's doing her peace initiative. That happened for her because there was no peace in her family. She always thought because they were always quiet, there was peace. But she understood quiet doesn't mean peace. And she's sharing that information with people. For me, confusion in your own mind won't allow you to move forward. You have to own what's really going on with you, what's really going on in your mind, and settle that before you can move forward, loving yourself. So all of those, all of that coming back around to say, I believe personal ministry, individual ministry, independent ministries is where we are going so that we each can live and let that purpose that we're here to do. That's what I believe. I really do. That's where I think it's going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amen, sister. That's about as Baptist as I get.
Hello. Hallelujah.
All right. Maybe a hallelujah once in a while. But I so agree with you. And that's, for the folks that follow New Thought Media Network, they know that is so aligned with what our vision is.
Exactly.
I've long said, if there's 7 billion different people on the planet, then there's 7 billion different ways to know God.
Exactly correct. Exactly correct.
You might not call it that, and others might say, well, yours is a false prophet or a false God, but once we come to understand the universal principles upon which New Thought is built,
yes.
Well, number one, it's pretty much impossible to pretend you don't know them. But once you know this stuff works,
right.
You can try and hide, you can try and run, you can try to blow up your life, but you still know what's going on.
You know what you're doing.
And so we all, one by one, are awakening to that spiritual magnificence within us. And well, that old saying, where two or more are gathered.
Hello. And I'll tell you something, Robert, once you're awake, once you're not the woke thing that's going on right now, but I'm talking about once you are spiritually awakened to you and your own spirituality and your relationship, for me, and I think it's for everyone who wakes up, you're so eager to help other people wake up as well, to who they are, to the possibilities in their life, for what they're here to do, which is greatness, not hiding under a bushel barrel, greatness. And that's what we're pulling out of people. That's what New Thought is about, pulling out your greatness. Saying yes to that.
Yes.
Yeah. Saying yes to that.
We come from greatness.
We are
greatness, and we create greatness.
Exactly. So we might as well live great. Let's just go ahead and own it.
Yeah.
Just own it.
So folks, come create some greatness with us. Unity Village, late September 25th through the 29th.
Yeah.
It's a hootenanny. It's a
For
spiritual,
sure.
It's a spiritual experience.
For sure.
And I pretty much will guarantee you that you're going to make a new friend.
Several.
Yeah.
Not just that weekend, but several friends that you will have moving forward. That you're going to be dropping them off. They'll be your friends for sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
And family. And then
exactly.
And family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Dear one, we are just about running out of time here. So, but before we do, I always like to give people a chance to share any final thoughts, anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you were hoping we might cover or speak about today. Anything more you want to add to the conversation?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had some people that you wanted to write in and things like that. No, I think I just want to just a couple of things that you just said about the whole 7 billion people on the planet, and what I feel like, what I wanted to, what is mine to do. I think that's the question. Always is asking yourself, what is mine to do? It doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. It doesn't matter what somebody else says. It's always about finding out what is mine to do and then doing just that. Just the next thing. You don't have to look at 50 million things. Just the next thing, because it always leads you to what's next after that. So just do that. Ask yourself, what's mine to do, and do that. And you will be on the path you need to be on. Believe me. That's all you need to know. So I just wanted to share that with you right now, and know that whatever you have to say, someone is going to get an aha experience from what you just said. Someone is going to get an aha. So speak into the universe.
Yes. 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 And somebody's going to be there saying yes.
Someone's going to be there to say yes. Someone needs to hear that. So don't hide it. Don't hide that. Don't think I don't have anything to say. You do have something to say. There's something urging you to say it because there's someone that needs to hear what you have to say about your lived experience with spirit. Yeah. So say it.
Amen. There you go. All right, you got two amen. You got two amen sisters in this show. Reverend PJ, I'm so grateful that you were with us today. I hope you'll come back and visit again sometime.
Absolutely, Robert. I'm so glad to know you. I'm so glad that we met, and what great friends we are, and just all the people that you're introducing to me as well, and all the things that are going on. So I love it. I love you. Thanks for having me here. I'll come back anytime, and I look forward to speaking with you as well. And I'll see you at the conference.
Yes. Yeah,
absolutely.
Just a few weeks away.
It's so close. So close.
Exactly. All right, folks.
All right, darling.
Thank you for being with us. I'm going to say thank you to everyone that's watching today. If you're a part of this network, if you're a part of this family, we love you. We appreciate you. If you're just dropping in and saying hi for the first time, please check us out, ntmedia.org. While you're there, click on that donate button. If you make it a monthly donation, we'll add you to our committed giving campaign. And then your name gets mentioned in videos and stuff like that. We're running right up to our hour today, folks. So I'm going to get out of here with one little final thank you to our committed givers and organizational sponsors. Until next time, I love you. I wish you peace and richest blessings. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, bye-bye. On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe.